Hello. That sounds very loud. I'm Johanna Cowie. I'm a librarian here at Sandy Spring Friends School. I am a parent of two amazing children. Anna Goodman is in middle school and 8th grader, and you learned something about my son Max Goodman earlier tonight. I shared this proud parentage with my husband Ant Goodman, who was an alumni in 1978. I have served on many a committee, and so let's go. I got myself into the job of clerking the 50th anniversary celebration committee. The school's been many things to me, and I'm many things to it, so I didn't expect many surprises when I started to talk to students, alumni who had been here over the years. I looked through the scrapbooks, which you can come and see in the library, by the way, and I met these amazing people who came back 50 years to the day after their first day of school here at Sandy Spring Friends School. As I read and talked, I became increasingly impressed with how bold and optimistic, how smart, how determined, and how vibrantly vulnerable and naive our infant school community was. Sandy Spring Friends School is, in fact, a naive stroke of genius. Naivety is defined as having or showing a lack of experience, understanding, or sophistication, often in the context of neglecting pragmatism in favor of moral idealism. It's not a bad thing. It protects us from becoming overly intimidated by the enormity of some significantly worthwhile undertakings. Following Brooke Moore's leading, the meeting established a committee to investigate starting a school, and by the way, a retirement community. There were two educators in the team, and a friend of mine who was later an alumna, but at the time was a 9-year-old child active in the meeting, remembers them as a bunch of grown-ups making it up as they went along. Passionate people, property, a sign, a headmaster, and what was needed next was students. Classified ads were placed. What's so different about Sandy Spring Friends School? It doesn't exist, but it will. A naive person is not afraid of the truth. So why does it cost so much? We haven't figured out how to make it any cheaper. Will you promise my kid gets into college? No. March of 1960 and newly hired teachers arrived. This is the crop of them. It was a muddy day. It was raining and overcast. The drive was rutted. It was mud. They met at Scott House and looked across the field of dead grass, and they could see this large hole in the distance. That's where they would be teaching in September. Despite this, they came back still believing. So yes, they were naive, and yes, it was genius, because hard work, available talent, the possibility were molded into not just the physical school, but also the intellectual and spiritual life of the school. The first catalog here was designed as leading 20th century education, but reading it, you can see that they were talking about learning across academic disciplines, sharing ideas, collaborative work, and being able to show what you had learned. Diversity was a big concern of the founders of our school. They were concerned with all kinds of diversity that we're concerned with today. You know, our population should look like the population around, and we should think about other people, but they selfishly just wanted to learn from these people. Critical thinking, they didn't call it that. They just wanted people to be able to think for themselves and to have something to base their thoughts on. Necessity is the mother of invention, so creative problem solving was necessary. You lack a gym, you have no equipment and no money, you can fashion a Fraz ram out of trees and invent a game that only requires one ball. Don't need full teams. Need some facilities, need a sidewalk. Concrete is chemistry, learning skills, building teams. Think globally. They traveled right from the start. They looked at having students come from other places right from the start. And when something was not going well in the globe, they acted. So they went down and participated in peace vigils. They just understood that it was important to have fun. That fun was part of hard work, and hard work was part of fun, and that would lead you to being a lifelong learner. I'm not sure Mary Lou Moore ever heard the words learning the modalities or differentiated instruction, but she put together this list of good ideas for teachers, and they all spoke to the idea that different people learn differently and that individuals can achieve differently. Technology was discussed in the very first student handbook. Faculty was concerned in helping students balance their lives in the face of a world with growing technology. They didn't shy away. They made a record and, in a very 21st century way, had their students show what they had done using technology. Rules are made by people who think they know better than others. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Naive people think more about what can be than what should be. The first faculty began with a few rules and left the way open. Brickmore stood up in that first meeting. Muriel Eastman, the postmistress, gave him $100. The Sandy Spring meeting decided they could get over the fact that nobody had any experience. Sam Legg, the first headmaster, took a job without a salary. The young teachers saw past the mud. It was incredible mud. And the students came and helped to build the school. The founders of Sandy Spring Friends Schools were all blessedly naive, and they were in very good company. Thank you.